Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to be teaching you how to set up a conversion tracking. Why do you need it, right? And what's the importance of it? Okay, what is conversion tracking? A conversion tracking is nothing but a method where you can start tracking the number of conversions happening on your website. What is a conversion? A conversion could be determined when someone books a call on your website or completes a form or even does a purchase, right? All of this is considered as a conversion, right? So how do we set this up? I will get into that. But why do we need this? Is because if you do not have a conversion tracking setup on your marketing campaigns, you're not sending the data back to the algorithm as to what's working on every campaign that you're launching. So then there is basically no point of you running a marketing campaign. So you need to always make sure this is a priority in any of the campaigns that you're planning to launch. So set up the conversion tracking, right? Make sure the data is accurate and sending it back to the ad platforms. It could be any ad platform like Google Ads, Facebook Ads, or TikTok, right? But you definitely need this. All right, let's dive into it quickly. First, let's discuss as to what's the hierarchy of the conversion tracking. For this instance, I'm going to show you something called Google Tag Manager. Ideally, what happens is, Google, let's say, for example, I'm going to teach you how to do this in Google Ads. And Google would provide you like a piece of code which you directly implement on the website. Okay, it's called a pixel. But for this instance, I'm going to show you how to implement it elsewhere in another platform called Google Tag Manager. What is a Google Tag Manager? It's like a container which you place inside your website, and this container actually holds Facebook Ads Pixel, Google Ads Pixel. It can hold any sort of codes inside that container, and then it acts as a medium to communicate between the website and the ad platforms. So let's see how this works. The hierarchy goes like this. So even when we create a Google Tag Manager account, it's going to give you a code which needs to be placed into the website, because that itself is going to act as a container, like I said. That's the Google, GTM global tag is what it's called as. And then the next thing is what we need to set up below that is a conversion linker. Okay, which is within GTM. What is a conversion linker? Think of a conversion linker as something where I would say a webcam, right, which is looking for people who's entering the store in and out, right? So what I mean by that is why I'm giving the references. In this case, right, this conversion linker is looking for any ad clicks that's coming in and out of the website, right? Anytime there's an ad click, what it does is it extracts the ad click data, right, and it stores it in the first party cookie, right? What is the first party cookie? You can just go ahead and Google it, but I don't want to get into the depth of this because I want to make sure this video is for beginners only, right? But if you would like to know more, drop a comment in the comment section, and then I'll definitely go ahead and create another video about that. The next thing is something called conversion tag. So what is a conversion tag? It's basically the piece of code which I was talking about that Google, Facebook, or TikTok provides to track the conversions on their own platform, right? We go ahead and take that and implement it within Google Tag Manager. And the next thing is a trigger. So what is a trigger? Trigger is basically when you're setting up a conversion and you're defining when this conversion have to be fired, right? Or triggered. For example, I want to only track a conversion when a form is completed. So that would be my trigger. Or when a button is clicked, so that will be a trigger. Or when a purchase is done, that is a trigger. So there are different kinds of triggers that we can set up. So this is overall the hierarchy of how this tutorial is going to look like. Okay, here's a quick example as to how this works. So you would see an ad, your beautiful ad, and then people land on your website, right? And then there might be like a form which is to collect information, which people can book appointment with you, right? Once they book an appointment, it's always best to have like a thank you page. The reason being, if you have a thank you page, it's easier to track lead generations or the conversions, I would say. Right. So for this particular tutorial, I would suggest you to create a thank you page. If you do not know how to create a thank you page, just drop a comment on the comment section and I will send you a personal loan. It's pretty simple based on, because why I have to send you a personal loan is because I need to understand which platform you're using. It might be WordPress, it might be Webflow. There are so many different platforms, right? So that's the reason I cannot cover it all in this one particular video. There is a specific reason as to why I kept this image, right? The piggy bank image. The reason being, I wanted to make you understand the logic behind why you need conversion tracking. Every time when a lead is, or like a user is converted into a lead, right? We basically think of it like a piggy bank. You're sending a signal back to Google or like Facebook or TikTok saying that, hey, here, take a penny, right? This is the kind of pennies that I'm looking forward to, right? So, but if you notice, there's a green line and like a red line. Why do I have that? Sometimes the basic mistakes what users do is that instead of tracking the thank you page, what people tend to do is they tend to track whenever someone is landing on just the website, or when someone is just clicking on this book now button. But ideally, the best signal that you could provide is when someone completes this booking, right? So if you send bad signals, then you're going to get bad results. So it's always, you need to keep in mind that you need to send out the best signals back to the algorithm so it can get you more similar customers. So that's the reason I created this illustration. I mean, I know it might be stupid, or it might be a little advanced based on where you are. So let me know in the comment section and I'll try to improve it. Let's go ahead and create the tag manager. So you just need to go to Google, search for Google Tag Manager, and then let's go here. Okay, so this is how you would see once you land on the Google Tag Manager page. Since I have multiple clients and I'm managing, I'm just going to blur out all of these for now. You click on create account, and then you type in your company name, let's say XYZ for example. All right, and then you choose which country you're from and go ahead with your container name. Your container name should be your website name. For this instance, we're going to go with web because it's a website that we're dealing with. So go ahead and click on web, click on create. So go ahead and agree to this terms and conditions, and let's go ahead and click on yes. Perfect. So now you have reached a page wherein it's providing your code. So what is this code? This is the container code that you need to place on your website. It's okay if you X out of this accidentally. I'll show you how you can recover this. So I would suggest you to copy these two codes and then have it in a notepad. But if in case you X out of it, what you can do is there is this link over here. All right. So just click on this. You can always get this information, right? Again, remember, click on the GTM ID over here. You'll be able to get this. So now what we need to do is here it says paste this code as high in the head section. So there is head section and footer section, and there's a body section on a website. In this example, I'm going to teach you how to do it on a Webflow website. It could be, the navigation could be different for different websites or different CMSs that you're using. You can probably just look it up on Google as to where's my head section and footer section on whichever platform you're using. So let's go here. Okay, so this is a dummy account that we have right now, and let's go and click on settings here. I'm using Webflow, and then you have something called custom code. Okay, let's just wait for it to load. Once you head over to the custom code, you'll be able to see this head code. This is where you'll place the first piece of code, and the second one, go back here, copy it, and then let's head back and then paste it before the body. So that's just over here, right? Click on save, and then go ahead and click on publish. Moving on to creating your first conversion tag. So head over to Google Ads, and then let's see, you need to click on this link here. Okay, I'm just going to pause and take you to the dashboard directly. Right, so this is how your, once you land on your dashboard, this is how it might look. So just click on tools and settings, or you might have a new interface as well, but the place you need to go to is measurement conversions, right? Because Google has changed its interface. Once you go there, click on new conversion action, and then click on website, and then type in the domain name. Let's say xyz.com. Let me just scan it. It's gonna say, okay, so once the scanning is done, you're gonna find this conversion app. So you can ignore this for now because we're not doing it, we're not manually installing the code on the website. We are installing it through Google Tag Manager, which is a safer method to do it. So once you're here, click on add a conversion action manually. So here, for example, this would be submit lead form, right? Let's say test booking. Here, if you would like, you can assign a value to every time someone completes the booking, or you can use the same value every time. Like, I usually do not use value when it's just a lead form, but ideally it's suggested to have, let's say, for example, this is worth, I believe that it's worth at least $30. So every time someone completes a conversion, I believe it's worth $30. I can insert $30 here. So let's, for this instance, play with don't use a value for this count. Okay, what is count? Here there's two options. One is every and one. For this instance, I'm going to go with one because it's the best recommended setup for leads. Okay, for value, you just choose do not use value for the conversion action, and count, choose one here, and don't bother to change anything else here. Click on done. and click on save and continue. All right, here you have three options. One is set up with a Google tag, which is what we're not going to be doing. We're going to be use Google Tag Manager. So here, as you can see, you have the conversion ID, right? So we have conversion ID and a label. So let's go into the tag manager now. Okay. So we are done with, actually, let's go back to the hierarchy here. We're done with setting up the Google tag, global tag, right? The next thing we have to do is conversion linker. Okay, so let's go back here, click on add new tag, click on tag configuration. So you just search for conversion linker here, right? You do not need to change anything else. Click on trigger, click on the trigger here, right? And then click on all pages. Once you do that, click on save. The name is conversion linker, save it. It's as simple as that. So there's nothing else to do there. So now we also set up the conversion linker, right? The next thing is setting up the conversion tag. So moving on to this, let's click on new tag, right? So let's click on Google tag, Google Ads tag, and then Google conversion tracking. Okay. So once you click on that, you paste the conversion ID, which you get here, and then the conversion label, the alphanumeric digits. Once you're done with that, then the next thing is trigger. Okay, so like we discussed, you want to make sure this is triggering on just a specific page, which is the thank you page, and not on all pages or any other places on your website, because you want to be tracking the right data to send it back to the algorithm. So for example, you click on this plus icon here. Here you want to be tracking a page view, like when anyone lands on the thank you page. So just click on page view. Here there's an option called some page views. Click on page path contains, I'm just taking an example as thank-you, right? So what's a page path? Anything that comes after the .com, like on your website, or .com, .io, anything, right? The forward slash, that is the page path. So I am just going to name this as thank you page trigger. So once I save that, we're here now. So this would be, let's say, lead form tag. Cool. I just go ahead and save this. Perfect. So let's go back to tags over here, and then let's see. So these are the two tags that we set up. One is a conversion linker, which goes on all the pages of your website, because you do not want to be missing out any cookie information, even though they land on any of the other pages, right? The other one would be lead form tag. This is to track specifically when someone, completes a booking on the page. So the next thing you can do is click on submit, give it like a version name if you need, and then hit publish, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. There is another thing which I would like to add on, right? Which is to test if it's working or not. So what you need to do is you need to head back to Google Ads. Here you go. Okay, click on done here. Right, let me just look at this. Okay, it says inactive, as you can see here, right? So once you publish it, and then I would recommend you to go ahead and fill out a form on your website, right? Then this should change from inactive to something like no recent conversions. It means that the tag is working. That is one way to test it. All right, so in order for you to test if it's working or not, what you need to do is click on preview, and just for this example, since I do not have an XYZ website, all right, what I'm going to do is let me walk you through the next steps, right? What you need to do here is you need to put in the website URL, which is your homepage URL, or like, yeah, put in the homepage URL or the URL wherein you have the forms, right? And then once you do that, you go and click on complete the form, right? And move over to the thank you page, right? If things go well, this is how I'm going to add like a screenshot here, right? This is how it should show up. There'll be two sections. One is tags that fired, tags that didn't fire. Ideally, you want both the tags to be fired when you landed on the thank you page. If you're on the home page, you just need the conversion linker to be fired, but not the other tag to be fired. Hopefully, this made sense and helped you guys out. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. Peace.